What up, YouTube? Topaz Jace back for another album review. This time it's to that Summer Walker, Still Over It. But before we jump into this album review, first I gotta offer you context. First I gotta give you my mental mindset and everything leading up to this project so you understand how I feel about this. But if you feel as though you know everything there is to know about Summer Walker, feel free to fast forward to this part right here. But who is Summer Walker? Summer Walker is an Atlanta singer that's signed to Interscope, and she is not really the best singer out there in terms of vocal ability. She's fine and she's full of drama, and that's really all you really need in today's commercial industry. And it's no hate towards Summer Walker because the content that she delivers is exactly what the people want. I more just blame society for allowing this to become the norm, where people care more about the gossip and the juicy details of relationships than the actual quality music. And I'm not saying that she's bad as a musician, because super terrible artists don't make my playlist. As her last album, Over It, I still got a song up on it, and that's that Come Through with Usher. More off the strength of Usher than what she did, but ultimately she made my playlist, so you gotta give her the respect that she deserves for actually being a competent musician. She's not an amazing one. And to be real with you, she knows what content people wanna have. She knows what content people want to buy and want to listen to, and she's providing that service. Like it or hate it, it's here to stay. And to put things in the proper context, she sings about everything she's going through in her physical relationships, and that's what the people want. So in order for you to understand it all, first you gotta understand that this guy, London on the Track, this is who she's talking about for the bulk load of this entire project, if not the entire way. I mean, there may be some instances in there where she's just saying random stuff, but for the most part, she's talking about this guy. London on the Track, producer who has 4 baby mamas, added another one, and you're seeing everything in his life being messy and getting spread out there on social media and everywhere. Well, that's not how you really want to do this, bruh. But this project is somewhat of a continuation of the original. That's why it's titled that. That's why the first one was Over It. This one is Still Over It. So she is pretty much just speaking about relationship drama the entire way, and it is flooding the timelines on Twitter as we speak. And now I bring you the Summer Walker Still Over It review. And I have to say, I'm a bit impressed here. Like, she is getting better as a musician. This project, she has put out a higher quality of music, and I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see that she's growing. I'm glad to see that she's becoming better. She's doing this because she put everything that she's been living in on the table, and she's putting it all on wax. And the fact that you see that she's dating it all, so she had to be in the lab pretty much for like 2 years trying to do this joint. If you look at the track listing on the left hand side of all of the tracks, she's dating the exact dates in which she recorded all of these. I'm assuming that's what these dates were, and which those had to be directly correlated to whatever issue she was going on or whatever emotion she had at the time. So yes, she has been putting in the work in order to become better. But man, do you know how long it takes for you to become a better musician? Like, this is why you have to put in your time and your work and all of that stuff before you get put on in the game. But I will say there are some solid moments on this project that I definitely recommend you to go ahead and peep out. Starting with Bitter, that's narrated by Cardi B, and this seems to be, pregnancy work. This is the same thing that Nicki Minaj did on the Drake album. Like, instead of them, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, actually dropping a verse while they're pregnant and all that stuff, they just come through and say a little something on the track. They will narrate in whatever it is you're talking about. Let me elaborate on it and get that little bit of money and keep it pushing. That's the direction in which these women have been going with it. But Bitter was cool. Like, I liked a little bit of the production, as what she's talking about is the new baby mom that's thinking that she was about to get paid, thinking that she was about to get rich and famous and stuff like that because she just had another baby from London on the Track. And this is like flawed logic that a lot of women tend to do. Like, where do you think all the money is actually going to go? Like, don't you know that man has to make a tremendous amount of money in order to take care of like 3 other kids and his baby mamas, who probably gonna hit him for child support and all that stuff? Like, adding another person to that, you're just making a smaller piece of the pie. You kind of played yourself by getting pregnant by a dude who got like 3 other baby moms. And the same for you too, Summer Walker. Another song I want to talk about is that No Love featuring SZA. Like, I felt this was one of the better songs off the project. It was a solid joint where what she's talking about is just emotionless sex. It's that point where you just so sick of somebody that you dealing with, but yet you still have physical needs. So let's just go ahead, do this, get it over with. I love the production. I like what SZA had to bring to the table on this one, man. It was a solid track here. The next song I want to talk about is Circus. Well, this song is pretty much talking about the back and forth that people ultimately have in relationships, because a few songs ago she was talking about how much she disliked this individual and all that, but then in this one she's expressing her need and her desire to get back to actually be with this guy again. Like, the back and forth is tiresome, you feel me? Like, this is what everybody wants to hear, but me personally, I would rather just not be with you. The next song we kind of got to talk about is that Toxic featuring Lil Durk, and the reason why we gotta talk about it is because it went viral, and it didn't go viral off of the strength of quality music. It went viral off the strength of star power, as the basic concept of this song is just talking about detrimental relationships, or what they like to call toxic relationships, where things just never go right now, do they? Some people just can't get along. Some people just can't do right by each other. People like to blame astrology signs. People like to blame all kinds of things for this, instead of just realizing, you know, maybe we're just both not crap and we kind of deserve each other for this. And the last song I want to talk about is that 4th Baby Mama, where she's not necessarily talking about that. She's kind of going through and doing a whole diss track here, fam. She's starting off talking about London on Track's moms, talking about, oh, it's because of you and the way that you raised him and the fact that you just eating off of him with all of the money and stuff that he's making off of these records and stuff. You are allowing all of his actions to continue to go forward instead of checking him. And let's keep it 1,000. She got a point there. I don't know his mama. I don't know his living arrangements. I don't know anything about that. All of this feels like an individual that was raised by his mom with no father figure in sight. And you gotta take that with a grain of salt, because she's the bitter baby moms. She's of course only gonna tell you her side of things, and she's never gonna tell you all the things that she been doing wrong. But a man who has some kind of means, that's just going out there having 4 baby moms, all of these kids and stuff like that, dude, you're somebody who doesn't really value himself like that. And people like this end up losing the wealth after the long run, because you're just not playing your cards the way you need to play it. All of this kind of falls on you too, Summer Walker. I mean, all of this stuff that you're talking about that he was doing, that you was upset about, yeah, you was just out there with all them chicks and stuff. Like, this was all the game that you was allowing this man to go ahead and run on you, and you was still there for the long run. This is who you decided that you wanted to go ahead and have a baby with, that you're going to be tied to for the rest of your life. There's nothing that you can give to another guy when you continue to move on with your life, if you actually do. There's nothing that you can give another man that you haven't already given to London on Track. You feel me? Like, just like how Future be going out there trash talking Russell Wilson and anybody that any of his exes get with and stuff, it's because Future got the max out of them, and now everybody else trying to run up behind him, he can go ahead and throw shade, and that's something that guys really don't want to be dealing with. And this is the kind of caliber guy that you were dealing with, Summer Walker. Look at yourself in the mirror and realize you kinda did this to yourself. Nobody told you to deal with this messy type of relationship and have to put up with this. You could have had almost anybody that you kind of wanted as you begun to blow up and people were thirst trapping all for you and stuff, but you chose London on the Track, fam. No, I did like 4th Baby Mama and all that, man, but let's just keep it 100. I'm just hearing a bunch of excuses on this album. You are a flawed individual trying to blame everything on your guy, but that's still your guy. So therefore, I'm not really sympathetic of all of your issues that you were having with this individual that you chose to be with. But it does result in quality music to a degree. Honestly, I feel as though 2 of these songs are actually going to continue to stay on my playlist this time, as she is showing growth. If this is what she needs in order to become a great musician, then by all means continue to torture yourself. It's a cool album, better than the last one, but the last one wasn't all that great either. It's super hyped up, people are really enjoying it, but I got to give it a 6 out of 10. She needs more vocal lessons. She needs more time. I think she has the opportunity to actually become a greater musician in the future if she continues to be on the grind like she's showing she was on the grind recording this album. She continues to do that, she can get